aside from being on Fox News, I've never really seen Tucker Carlson or his personality. Apparently he's not only based on, his news show, but also in real life, he's got quite the opinion of what Canada or Canadians are. He seems to think that Canadians are a bunch of pussies, which, yeah, I suppose so. All except one province, Quebec. Let's see what he's got to say here. This is on the Nelk Boys podcast.
A huge tract of land in northern Quebec.
100%.
100%.
I don't know about Quebec. See,
Everyone hates Quebec.
I'll rip on Quebec with you too.
No, it's my favorite province.
Oh, really?
Eh?
Why?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the issue then, right?
I'll tell you why. Because the French, super annoying, obviously impossible to
Rude.
deal with. Your language? Nobody speaks your language. Like, nobody cares about French anymore. It's no longer the lingua franca. It's like you're an empire not only in decline, but it's vanished. You're Rome. Like, you don't exist. Okay. So there's that. But the good news about the French is they actually have, what do they call it? Self-respect. Like, they actually think they have something worth preserving. That's why they're so silly about their language. Oh, you must say it in French. Like, subtitles in English. The whole thing is insane. But it suggests that they really care on some level. Like, they're not bitches. Like, no offense, a lot of the Anglos in Canada are like, okay, you can invade us.
Yeah.
The French are like, no, we're French. Like, you can only invade us if you speak French.
Yeah.
And I just like that.
I agree.
And they're like, again, they're hard to deal with, but they have balls. I've flown all through the maritime. I fish, so I've flown in little planes all around
Where'd
Canada.
you go? Newfoundland?
Yeah, in Labrador.
I mean, he's got a point so far, right? When you look at the protests and stuff, Quebec is like pretty much hands down the most intense of the provinces for protests. But I do think that the tides are changing, and I think that it's maybe from a bit of an older survey that Tucker's making this decision from, because people in BC, man, on the island have been protesting pretty hard. Southern BC, like Vancouver area, in Toronto, Ontario, Ottawa, obviously, right? The trucker convoy, and pretty much all over Alberta. So, I mean, yes, Canadians are generally known as, I don't want to say we're submissive, but we're very polite, and we've never really had this much to say about our government until now. So we're trying to take Canada back.
Northern Ontario and a bunch of your states, which I think are called provinces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't participate in that. But with your kilometers and millimeters and like all this.
What I do really appreciate about this specific Tucker Carlson interview on the podcast, the Full Send Nelk Boys podcast, is he really shines a light, and this is something I've struggled with, is just speaking your mind, especially as a man, and not fearing cancel culture, just being extremely base and be like, that is stupid, or this is gay, whatever it is. And we've kind of, our culture now in Canada has very much tiptoed around certain words, certain phrases, certain, pockets of sensitivity, because that's what we're told to do. We're told by our government to be extremely empathetic, to be extremely sensitive. For crying out loud, we're the gayest country in the world. I mean, we have, LGBTQ everything, but not only that, there's an actual pilot program in Canada where people can seek refugee in Canada solely based on their gender identity. If you are identified as part of the LGBTQ SL plus whatever division community, you can seek refugee in a country. That's absurd. We're turning into a very, very weak society, weak country. And it's people like Tucker Carlson, when they speak, kind of gives me hope to be a little bit more who I am and tiptoe a little less around, sensitivity. Because that's just gay. Thanks for watching the entire video. If you want to help grow this channel, you can like and subscribe. I've made it really easy for you. You can subscribe by hitting this button right there. Or if you want to continue watching another video, you can do so right here. And if you'd like to move on to question period highlights, I have an additional channel called House of Canada, and that is linked right there. Basically, it's just Trudeau getting completely destroyed, and Jagmeet gets pegged by Trudeau because that's what he is. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.